Americans think our commander-in-chief is incompetent and too slow to react. As the country continues to face sky-high inflation, soaring gas prices, and a dangerous formula shortage, new numbers spell political Armageddon for Joe Biden. 69% say the economy is bad. 65% say Biden is slow to react when issues arise. And over half say the man is simply incompetent. Biden also getting slammed over the baby formula shortage. The president trying to do a victory lap after flying in supplies from Europe. But the formula reportedly will not be going to store shelves. It will instead go to hospitals, doctors, and other facilities. President Biden is facing all kinds of problems, but as usual, the Democrats are running cover.
We're moving from the strongest economic recovery in modern history to what can be a period of more stable and resilient growth.
President Biden has been very decisive in his leadership, beginning with the American Rescue Plan. We rescued the economy, put shots in arms, money in pockets, kids back in school, laid the foundation for a robust economic recovery.
You know, by any metric, with the exception of inflation, this country has moved forward under his leadership.
And some in the media claim Biden's poll numbers are in the tank because of negative coverage.
Political talkers always try to focus on, well, what does it mean for the Democrats and Biden in the midterms? Forget about that for a minute. What does it mean for our psychology, for our health as a nation and a world, when you're just inundated by seemingly negative headlines all the time?
It feels like long COVID. It's like everything is bad and we can't get healthy again. And really, it's a tremendous challenge, I think, particularly for the media, because what stories do you focus on?
Okay. Well, I think we'll focus on this story now. Look, Greg, we've all known the guy is not with the program. We've known it for a long time. The numbers have been clear as far as we were concerned. But now it appears that it's not just us. The voters know it. The voters know it. The polling shows it. You know, in the beginning, it's like America was like, you know, let's give the guy a chance. We elected him. Let's give him a chance. You know, we're not going to criticize him. But now it's like we're not even in 2 years, and they're like, this guy's a loser. This guy's incompetent. 57% say the president is distracted. 51% say he's incompetent. 60% say he's not focused. We've got inflation going through the roof, and they want to blame the media?
I don't know. I think for this country, he has been an excellent president. Look what he's done. He's helped arm a population so they could defend themselves against a threat. He also showed how important a border was and was willing to protect it. And by this country, I mean Ukraine. Because that's definitely not the United States. He just said that we should be concerned about monkeypox, right? That's a disease spread by, plug your ears, Dana.
I got it.
It's a disease spread by anonymous kinky sex at raves. And so I'm just wondering, are we supposed to be concerned by this? Because he says, I mean, we're all not like Hunter. The thing is, this is an example of the president's inability to assess the size and scope of a problem. So the criticism here is they say that he's too slow to react. He's only too slow to react to major crises like crime, inflation, the border. But stuff that's not important or stuff that is external, stuff that's symbolic, something that's a virtue signal, he's right on top of it. I mean, I always go to the example of the border guard. He didn't waste any time smearing that guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he didn't waste any time smearing a lot of people calling like if something suits the woke sensibilities of the people that pull his strings, he's right there. But right now, he's gone from Build Back Better to an absolute disaster. He's like the opposite of Babe Ruth. You know, when Babe Ruth would point to the bleachers and say home run, he does that and then he jumps into a well. There's just there's no logic to this.
All right, Dana. You know, when I was reading about this, Biden was saying that he's going to blame the Russian invasion for the food shortage we have.
Well, okay, now there might be a little bit of merit to that as they get closer in terms of the Ukraine and the grain prices. But another thing where he was quick to react and never apologize is on the Georgia voting law.
Right.
Remember, he went down and he said that Republicans are like Bull Connor. He said it was Jim Crow 2.0. Now they've had increases by double digits for both Republicans and Democrats in Georgia in early voting, and the vote actually finally happens tomorrow. He said he wanted to run as a unifying president. He has. He has unified the country against him. 65% of people say he's slow to react. That's a quorum, or that's a filibuster-proof majority in the United States Senate now, if that's how those rules were to work. And there's this pattern that is a part of the Biden administration that is extremely frustrating. So the baby formula crisis has been something I've been really focused on. I think it is a terrible crisis. I listened to a mom on the radio, NPR actually, who was saying that it's all she thinks about. That's all. And you think about, like, back in the day when there was no electricity or anything, like a mom, that's what you had to do. That was your job. Like, you were making sure there was food. All of this goes back to your basic instincts of, like, you have to make sure that you have food in the appropriate amount for your child. But the Biden team, here's the pattern, right? They downplay a crisis. They either totally miss it or they downplay it. I think Afghanistan's a good example, inflation, and certainly baby formula. Then what they do is they blame somebody else. Okay, so the White House even went as far as to blame Abbott for killing people.
Yes.
When their own FDA investigation said that that did not happen. And they didn't apologize for that. And Abbott then, that CEO is apologizing in the pages of the Washington Post today, saying that they will do better. And then after that, they search for cover and take a victory lap. I think it is disgusting that your taxpayer dollars went to make a hype video about the historic airlift of baby formula from Europe to the United States. And now, and they're like, wow, look at all these people are coming out. It's amazing. We have this great, amazing aircraft carrier, and it's filled with, they said 70,000 tons of baby formula. No, it's 70,000 pounds.
Pounds.
Okay, that's a big difference. I'm glad that that baby formula is here. We need a heck of a lot more of it. But they did not deal with this for several months. And the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Javier Becerra, who, again, I've said is on the Witness Protection Program, can't find the guy anywhere. He admitted that they knew about it, but then President Biden said we couldn't have done something if we were mind readers.
Yeah.
And they won't. My last thing is the White House refuses to answer one specific question. When did President Biden find out about the baby formula crisis?
Okay. And here's the problem. The whistleblower came forward in October of last year. Becerra said they knew about it last fall. All right. And then the FDA goes in and they then in November, they make the appointment. They go in December, and then finally in February, they make a decision. So the whole administration is behind the eight ball and slow. But what's amazing, one of the points that Dana makes, Jessica, and you know I'm frustrated with the baby formula for my daughter, and everybody is, and I'm trying to buy it and find it for everybody. But we find out that the person who is the CEO of Abbott that makes the baby formula is apologizing. Why is he apologizing when both the FDA and the CDC, as Dana said, has said there's no connection between the illnesses, the deaths, and this particular factory? Is it what he had to do, the Abbott guy, to get the government to allow him to reopen his factory?
Well, that bill, it got passed before that. I think he's been caught up in
What got passed before that?
The Baby Formula Act in Congress went
5 days
week.
Ago?
Well, yeah,
No,
and
the
it
consent
appeared
decree
on,
that allows them to reopen, not the money.
Yeah.
That's what Judge is
talking about the money.
Well, that was just a week and a half ago. I mean, everything has moved very quickly, but he's been caught up, obviously, in a media firestorm over this, and there's a lot of bad information going around about what actually happened. Did 2 infants die because of the formula? No, that's not actually what happened, but that has fallen on Abbott's feed. And I do think, honestly, it's good CEOing that he did write that piece, because there are a lot of angry parents and people and grandparents that are trying their hardest to find formula for their kids. So I think it was the right move for him. He shouldn't have necessarily been in that position, but it's exposing a big problem that the Biden administration is relying on shifting to talk about. And people are saying you're just obfuscating, but it is important to acknowledge that there are only 4 companies that produce 99% of the formula that exists.
Whose fault is that?
Well,
whose fault is that?
I'm not. This isn't a please blame thing.
So
we
what
need
is
to.
the
We're
point?
bringing the. Okay. We are bringing in formula from Europe. That is fine now because we're in a crisis, but we normally don't allow it. They actually have better ingredients in their formula. We have a monopoly of 4 companies. Why are you acting frustrated with that? I said Biden didn't do a great job about it.
Here's the difference. Because Joe Biden has been in Washington for 40 years, and he has no idea how fragile and uncompetitive the U.S. baby formula industry is. He just wakes up to it all of a sudden. Oh, look what we have here. We have a shortage. I was walking down the street today. I saw some skinny blonde mom pulling other moms aside with her little I got hypoallergenic. I got some alimentum. It's a black market out there. It's not funny. You look at the streets. The streets are wild with these baby formula people. This is why you have a baby formula shortage in this country, because the press treats the president like a baby, right? And like he wants credit for not fixing a problem he himself created.
Right.
They're airlifting formula from the Europeans. We're getting bailed out by the French. We're supposed to be bailing them out. What's wrong with this thing? And then you look at these numbers. 2/3 of the country thinks the economy's bad and Joe's asleep at the wheel. When has the country agreed on anything?
Right.
We are polarized on abortion, climate change, the Will Smith slap. But all of a sudden, 2/3 of the country agrees we're headed off a cliff and Joe Biden's asleep at the wheel?
Yeah,
Come on,
but
Jessica.
Very unifying.
I don't understand.
Come on,
how
Jessica.
We gotta go. He couldn't see it coming, Jesse. He's not a mind reader. Coming up next, clean up on aisle Biden again. The White House walking back yet another flub on the world stage.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.